Hello, and this is my Werepup review video. Sorry it's been such a long time. I know a lot of people have wanted to see it. Yeah, finally it's here after a long time. This is my Werepup, Hogarth, and I'm going to be doing a review on having him, what he is, what he looks like, how he feels, and the overall experience of me buying him. There's going to be some pros, there's going to be some cons. Hopefully it'll be an all-round good review for anyone out there thinking of getting a Werepup or interested in having a Werepup. And yeah, so this is my review. So this is my Werepup Hogarth. I bought him online from werepups.com. He's made by an artist called Asia Erickson. She makes these by hand, I believe, and they're very similar to the Reborn doll type community. I haven't got any Reborns myself. I actually collect anthropomorphic dolls, so he's probably the most expensive doll I have. I did an unboxing of him about a year ago, so this has been quite a long time to do a review, but it has given me time to see how well he's held up, and generally how well he's put together, and give an honest review of him. The doll himself is a fully weighted silicone doll. His main body here is filled, it's not silicone, this inside body. He's weighted like a real baby, so he's weighs about 4 or 5 pounds. His head and his arms and his legs are all silicone, and they're quite heavy, but they're very well weighted, very evenly weighted. These aren't the clothes he came in, but I got them so you could kind of see how he's attached. There's a cloth body inside with a little nappy on it, and he's held with these hinges, so you can move these all the way around, pose him and stuff. He's held up really well. He's been, I mean, I'm very gentle with him, so I actually don't take him outside. I took him out once for an event, but he generally sits in my room. He's generally admired in a chair or on the bed, and he's just wonderful, really. I mean, I can't really state enough how beautiful her work is. She makes incredible art. As far as I'm aware, she's the only artist who makes werewolf reborns like this, or as good as this. I'm open to any other suggestions. If you know any other artists who make similar products, I would love to see links in the comments below. That would be great. He is custom made in the sense that I could choose things. I could choose the skin color, I could choose the face. There are 4 different, or possibly more different kinds of faces that you can choose from. And you can choose from open feet, closed feet. These are closed. You can have open feet, you can have hands that are pointing, and you can choose the eyes. These are taxidermy eyes, the wolf glass eyes. You can customize what kind of hair you want, how thick you want it, what kind of color you want, and she hand roots everything herself. He also has a tail. Yeah. It's a bit messy at the moment. Actually, he's been sitting on my lap, but he has a tail, a cloth tail. That came as an extra, or you can have it without. Obviously, if you do have it, you have to customize any of the clothes by cutting a hole in. He has been quite difficult to buy clothes for because he's a preemie, so he would fit very, very small, perhaps premature babies, which is a little bit more difficult to buy for, but it's not impossible. And he's just been wonderful. A couple of the tears came out just when he's sitting on sofas and things, but generally speaking, he's been fabulous. Of the year I've had him, I've noticed no change in his quality, in his robustness, in his weight. Nothing shifted in him. He's got a little tongue, and inside of his mouth he actually has a magnet, which I also purchased when I ordered him, so he can have like a pacifier or a dummy that sticks to his face. So yeah, he's wonderful, and he does move a little. Nothing too unnatural. I say too unnatural. He's obviously very unusual. He's not everybody's cup of tea, but if this is the sort of thing you're into, if you're into like unusual dolls, horror dolls, they are fantastic. They are really beautiful. It's quite uncanny to hold him. They're fantastic dolls to have in my collection. And I paid about $500 for him, which at the time was about £400, I believe. I can't remember exactly, her prices may have changed. So there are all the pros. The pros of him: he's a fantastic product, and I would recommend her to make these sort of products. And then I come to the cons a little bit. So he, as a product, has no cons. He is fantastic. I don't think he could have been made any better, although he is different to what I asked for. I wanted him to have short hair, like Ezra. She has a variety of dolls she's made before, which are kind of examples. I wanted him to have short hair like Ezra, or Evra, sorry. And I wanted him to have, I always wanted him to have brown hair. I wanted him to have, you know, the white hands, and there's a little bit of white above his nose. You probably can't really see it, but he does have a little bit of white hair above his nose as well, and some white flecks in his hair. And I put down a deposit up front, which you have to do, and then he was going to be a 9-month waiting list. I understand it takes a really long time, and it did. It took about 2 years in total. I also understand delays happen, but there was a lack of communication, unfortunately. I didn't have any work in progress pictures except for his eyes, because I didn't know what colour eyes he wanted, so she showed him some different eyes. But I did send her messages throughout. I said, you know, I'd like to know what the feet look like. I'd like to know what the hands look like, so that when he officially is being made, I can see. And she did have different people answering for her, but I would be told, if I got an answer, I would be told I would get photographs in a couple of days, and I might not get them at all, and then it would be 6 months, and then I'd say, well, where's my response? So the communication wasn't great. Also, when I finally did get pictures of him, he was finished, and the hair was really long, which wasn't what I asked for. I did ask for it to be fluffy, and she did explain that for it to be fluffy, it would have to be long, which is fine. I didn't know that because she didn't tell me, but that's fine. And I asked her if she could cut it a little bit, and she did. She trimmed his knees. She also trimmed his elbows for me, so that he was more like I wanted. But he was ultimately, and he's beautiful, but he ultimately wasn't exactly what I asked for, and I would have appreciated that as communication. I also found she did have some family issue or emergency during those 2 years, and I completely understand that slowed down production. But other than that, I felt there were a lot of people complaining. There were a lot of comments online. There were a lot of people saying that things hadn't been made, that they were waiting, they had no communication, and I don't know if they were being replied to, but there were a lot of them. I also was aware there were people posting videos online of their pups that had ordered them after me and then got them, so there was no sign of a queue. I've worked with other people. I'm an artist myself. It's very easy to make a queue, make an online data record of where you are in the queue, and so people can see when they're going to be delayed, so people know how far along they are. And I would repeatedly email asking, where am I in the queue? Am I number 3, 10, 100, 1,000? But I often didn't get any response on that, or they would avoid the question. Also, there were people still having orders taken, so people were still submitting fresh deposits, fresh orders, even though she was incredibly behind, and she was still taking them, which I considered a bit unprofessional. So, and you know, there may be reasons for all this that I don't know. There may be more, you know, she may have no reasons, and there may be other people who've had way better experiences than me, but that was my experience. So about 2 months before I finally got given photographs saying he's finished, completely out of the blue, I was getting ready to offer my money back. That's me being brutally honest. So would I order from her again? No. Do I think her products are incredible? Yes. Do I think she's really talented? Yes. So I'm hoping that in future, and for other customers who are interested in this doll, or dolls like this, that she will improve her system, and I'm sure it'll get much better. But that would be my warning for people who are going to think about getting a Werepup, is that the queue is really long, and like not just understandably long, like there may be no time, it may be years. So bear that in mind if you're going to order one. If you have any more questions, please let me know in the comments below. If you have any other artists you think deserve a mention who make similar products, if you've had a better experience or a bad experience with the Werepups, I would like to know. So that's my closing, and yeah, this is my Werepup, and he's beautiful, and yeah, so I wish you will have a lovely day.